What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Chevy, you want to say what up?
Hello, everyone. Hello. How y'all doing?
All right. Uh, Apologies again. I had some logistical issues over here. Didn't set my alarm. So we are in the building. We are talking about Marvel's. Sorry, I'm trying to move this screen over here. Marvel's Hawkeye episode 3. So we will be discussing the third installment of this great series, and all the action, all the things that happen, and then added in our own little spin of our analysis of it. So looking forward to that. So first things first, Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2, Chevy and Smooth and Sunny as well, I believe, all got together and talked about it. I came back the next day and talked about episodes 1 and 2. Did you guys give ratings to those 2 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So yes, I think I ended up giving it a 6.5, 7 for episode 1, and then I think it was like a solid 7 for episode 2. And I ended up having to explain that I gave it those ratings because what up, those Shinlo? Had to give it those ratings because one, I expect bigger and better things over the series, as well as I felt like they were great episodes, but I just was like, I didn't want to give them like the highest of the highest ratings without seeing where it goes. You know what I mean? And I when I watched part of you guys' show, I know you guys kind of seem to have the same sentiment that it was like really great episodes, but it was like I can't remember if it was Smooth that said that he felt like he liked episode 2 better than 1 or something like that. So it was just like that was the biggest thing was we always have these expectations, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. We always have these expectations. We always have this kind of this forethought that this may seem great now, but just wait.
Right.
So, now when I watched episode 3, I enjoyed episode 3, but then I started hearing from people like, oh, I expected it to be bigger or better episode 3 than episodes 1 and 2. And I didn't feel that way. I felt that it was a great episode. I thought it was, at least in my mind, I thought it was still on point with episode 2.
It was on the course with episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Which is, I mean, it's not an episode that you ran and rave about, but it's not an episode that I would say, oh man, that episode was just, I don't know where the show is going. Right. It's like, okay.
What up, though, Dro? Appreciate
I'd rather it be like this. That wasn't straight. That was not straight. Especially my hand wasn't straight though.
Right. There we go.
It went like this, but it was gonna go straight.
Like I prefer it to be like this. Like a snow shovel? Like, yeah. Keep picking them up.
I'd rather it be like this. Let's try this way.
There you go.
Then like this. Like this.
Right, yeah. Surely not like that.
No, like one episode is really good, and then the next episode is not good at all, and then the next episode is great. But then it's like, because I feel like that's how the Winter Soldier was a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like the episodes were up and down and up and down and up and down, so you can never really get comfortable with what you was watching because you start watching the next episode, you'd be like, now why the hell they do that? You know what I'm saying? Versus, exactly. Okay, this is on the course. This is on the course to be up there with WandaVision and Loki. Mm-hmm. And that depends on who you're talking to. Because some people think WandaVision is the top and Loki is the second. Whereas other people would say Loki is the top and WandaVision is at the bottom. But most people say that WandaVision is the show to beat. So I definitely think this show is on the course to be up there with whatever is your first favorite Marvel TV show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. And I definitely have been hearing some of the comparisons as well as seeing some of the comparisons when it comes to how, because I think the one thing I pointed out was that Hawkeye, unlike Loki and WandaVision, was more of a straightforward action series more similar to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How
Mm-hmm.
it tied in the fact that we have a human superhero or a human hero versus a superhero like in those other shows. But similar again to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? I mean, even Winter Soldier is superhuman, but or enhanced human, but the Falcon isn't, right? So it's kind of the same kind of caliber of show. Same kind of. And I heard Smooth talk about the human feel, right, and the human story, and that's definitely what you're getting out of this. I mean, this one right here, I think they punched us in the gut at one point in the show. So it was like, we have these stories that take us kind of expanded into these people's kind of backstory. So yeah, definitely, I felt like it's I felt like after what they call it, seeing what happened in episodes 1 and 2, that they continued to
Keep the
to
same momentum
exactly
versus
build up on that. But like you said, right, it was the same momentum. And I mean, if you think about it from a standpoint of like a Falcon and Winter Soldier, the action was, in my opinion, was more, more stated, more blatant, maybe even better,
yeah,
because
this episode was like, oh,
yeah,
what?
I mean,
Wow.
and the use of technology, or the use of, or I don't know if it's really technology, but the use of techniques that we don't generally see was
Right.
kind of a dope way that they kind of presented this
It
show as
also
well.
reminded me of, like, remember when we was talking about What If, the episode with Natasha and Clint, and we saw how his weapons worked more with the zombies or whatever.
Yes,
And it
yeah,
was just like, damn, they did this character a disservice because they didn't give us a chance to love him and
mm,
the things that he could do as a human man with the arrows that he used. And this episode also spoke to that even more, but allowing for us to see it in real life and
right,
not a cartoon. So we know it's just not something that they created in a digital world that we would never get to see in real life. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They actually showed us that yes, he has arrows that do many different things. Yes, he can do these things in real life. Yes, you know what I'm saying?
right,
But
right,
since he's
exactly.
not Captain America, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, or Thor, we didn't think you guys would care. So
Mm,
we gave you a time to look at it without the distraction of the powers.
right, exactly, exactly. I'm gonna go back to this comment. Shannon said, "I like the setup they have for Hawkeye. It actually feels like a live comic book." Then he says that Hawkeye feels like the comics. Falcon and Winter Soldier feels like a spy spinoff show, and um, Loki, Cosmic Space Adventure, Wanda had me in my feelings, drama with some show humor. What if was what if, right? So each one is bringing a different. Basically, what he's getting to is that each one is bringing a different viewpoint, aspect, and method to how they're presenting these stories. So yes, I definitely agree that this continues just this long line of how do you tell a story, and who do you tell it about, and then giving us that. I definitely feel like uh, this episode, if it wasn't a 7.5, it was definitely a 7. I felt like it was a 7.5 only because I like I said, there's that gut punch in the middle that was like, wow, like we're talking about real human lives here, you know, that are not real, but you know what I mean. Like, we're talking about human emotion, human life, and we're talking about people who are trying their best to do their best with what they got. You know, so it was that extra something for me that I didn't get from other shows. 100% completely. Like, I got it, but to feel it, it was different. You know what I mean? And I felt like I felt that with this with episode 3. But then also the fact that the action was so complete and so
Like watching a
well put
movie.
together. It was just,
Yeah.
I mean, I felt that way with Loki as well, right?
Yeah, but no, like that action sequence that took place in that show was definitely like, oh, this is Marvel. This is Marvel. Like
Mhm.
you can take the superpowers out of the character, but you can't take the Marvel out of the show.
Out of the show, exactly. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So yes, indeed. So yeah. So from that standpoint, what did you give the what up though? Smooth, what's good with you, brother?
Hey, Smooth.
What did you rate the episode?
I mean, I would say about a 7-ish.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
well, good. It's good. It's consistently good. I mean, if it's one thing that I can say about because I watched the other episode too today, it's
Oh,
consistently good.
you always get ahead of me. You always ahead of me.
I got to watch it, man.
See, I don't like to talk. I don't like to watch it until I talk about it because I'll get confused. I'll be like, yeah. So then what happened was, and you'll be like,
It just gets me more excited to talk about. It's like I can talk about it in a more in-depth way, but not mention anything.
Right.
But it's definitely consistently good, and I think this 4th episode is the one that's everybody that I've talked to today that has watched it was like, oh yes.
Right.
So yeah, like this is
okay. Oh, everybody that's watched episode 4.
Yeah, like everybody who watched episode 4 today was like, yep.
Okay, got you.
Yep. Or they was like, woo.
See, she jumping ahead. You know, I reserve my jump aheads for next week. I don't be. I will be watching it probably after we get off the show, though. So.
You definitely need to watch it.
Like, don't doubt. Don't doubt. And then one other thing before we get off before we switch over from the spoiler free to the spoiler is the fact, and Dame also gave it a 7. It is the fact that we had yet again another new either character, well, actually a couple of new characters technically. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to meet 2 new characters,
maybe 3,
right? Exactly, maybe 3.
Well, maybe he's not technically a new character, but introducing
right.
into the MCU.
Yes. maybe a 3rd reintroduction from the MCU.
That's definitely him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if it ain't him, like I'm gonna be like, you know, that was the thing. Is like if it's not who I think it is, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face. So that's my 2 cents. It's my 2 cents. Is how I feel about it. So that was the spoiler-free introduction of our show, the spoiler-free review. Chevy gave it a 7-ish. I gave it a 7.5. A soft 7.5. A good 7. Dame gave it a 7. What did you give it, Smooth? What was your thoughts? You know, so we all thought it was a great show, and don't get it twisted. 10 doesn't mean, I mean, not giving it a 10 doesn't mean it isn't great. It's just that we know there's more to come.
Right. And I don't want to give it like a 9, and then it's like, but the show is not a 9. Because I saw early reviews of the first 2 episodes like 10, 9. I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah, right.
Let me go watch this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, it's good, but a 10.
Right.
It's good though. It is good.
It is good. Right. Oh, if you watch my episode of this last week from Thursday, like I'm sitting there arguing with my sister. She was on the comments. She's like, oh, it must have been boring. I was like, no, it wasn't boring. 7 don't mean boring. 7 just means that I know there's more.
A solid. It's solid.
Yeah, it's super solid. Yeah, it's super solid. And I know either there's more coming or it should be more coming. You know, if it doesn't, then yeah, we got to drag it down because we're gonna be like, this was the peak of your episodes,
exactly.
Right?
The first 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like a C is still a passing grade.
Yes.
Plenty of people have.
Actually, I wouldn't even give it I wouldn't even say a 7 is a C. I mean, I think because it's a curve. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely like a high B minus. You know?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's definitely, if we doing ABCD, it's definitely B.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a B.
So and
that's pretty good. 3 to 4 episodes in, depending on where you are, and it's still there. I mean, exactly. Loki was getting 3s and 4s at this point.
Yeah. Well, and because there was so much they were trying to teach us up front that we didn't, that either we didn't know or that we didn't get, and then it made the story drag, right? So it was like people were either not getting it or they just weren't patient. Smooth gave episode 2 or episode 3 an 8. Okay, Okay, so yeah, so he was feeling me on a little bit more than I thought of two and of 1 and 2. I felt like it was a little bit better, but yeah, same thing. So for Hawkeye to get a 10, Black Widow and Iron Man comes back, and we get the rest of the series for this week. exactly. Like they somehow magically, and it has to make sense. Like it has to make total sense. Like, oh yeah,
man, they find a way to bring Natasha back by the end of this season.
Right.
The world is gonna explode.
right, exactly.
Iron Man can't come back. He was
burnt. Oh, he said B. My bad. He said B. I thought he said
he was burnt from the rooter to the tutor. He messed up, and
yeah,
that was his heart side.
Like I'm pretty sure that shocked through a couple of multiverses.
Oh yeah, like I mean, he would have to build the technology to have saved him.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly. Looper much, right?
Yeah, he would have had to build the technology to save him.
So let's get to the spoilers. Iron Man, Hawkeye, season 1, episode 3. We open up with the I don't even know what to call them, the duo, the dynamic duo, stuck at the lair of the Tracksuit Mafia. Tracksuit Mafia is continuing to try to figure out what they're doing. A bunch of bumbling idiots, basically. I just get a kick out of the bros. It's just hilarious. And then the comic relief that game gives is awesome. And then we get to meet their boss, Echo. So Echo is deaf. She's also missing an appendage. She's missing her, I think it's her right foot.
Yeah. Well, lower part of her leg, I guess.
Yeah, the lower part of her leg, because I think she's from the knee up. She's got the knee up on the I have to double check which one it is, if it's the left or the right.
I think it's the left.
The
right.
The right. It's right. Okay. Yeah. So she's missing that. She's also deaf. I don't think we really got an exact reason why she's deaf and missing her foot, but
we didn't.
We got to see a backstory for her, basically her origin story of the fact that Ronan was the one that killed her uncle. So we saw her grow up.
Oh, that was her uncle?
I believe that's what it was. Or was it her father? Maybe it might be her father. I
think her father was that man was her father. The man from Dr. Sleep was her father, and her uncle was the guy who was introduced to.
Exactly. Yeah. Because old boy did call him uncle. He did call him uncle.
Yeah, who sounds like Vincent D'Onofrio.
Exactly. So it's 2007, 4 years before Avengers fight in the Battle of New York. But we get to meet Echo. She can't hear, but she's definitely got some skills where she's able to read lips. She's able to kind of like do some space. She can definitely tell things. How her
depth perception.
Her perception, yeah, exactly. Her perception is better than others, as well as she's learning how to fight. At the gym.
I believe when we met her as a child, she had none of those advantages. She was sitting in a class and she couldn't hear, and she was doing her own thing. And that day, after she came home from school, her father told her that she needed to not.
Well, she could read lips really well, and she was able to, I think she was hearing the sound, like the vibrations. She couldn't hear the sounds, of course, but she could hear the vibrations. So because the teacher was saying something, and she kind of was focused in, even though she was not paying attention a little bit, but she also was paying attention enough to know what the teacher wanted her to do beforehand. So she was like, you know what, the teacher just isn't paying enough attention to the fact that I can't hear her. So she went ahead and did what she figured out. You know what I mean? So she was able to deduce, like, okay, based on what I thought I saw you say, and then now that I know what you were doing, because the teacher said, turn the page, blah, blah, blah. And all she saw was turn the page, and then the teacher turned her face. So then she was like, all right, I know we basically are here. Let me start working on this assignment, So I think she had that. But yeah, I think it was like it continued to improve because of the fact, like you said, that she had that disadvantage in the school, but she took.
And her dad told her that she wasn't going to get a sign language person. He wasn't going to get her any type of hearing aids or anything like that. He just wanted her to continue to learn the way she was learning.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Which I
Exactly.
think is kind of depressing if you ask me. But whatever.
Yeah.
Uh
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think that was another part of the human story, right? Is that, the father's telling her, hey, we got to make do with what we got, blah 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 blah. We have to, he's like, he knows his daughter's smart. He knows that she can excel, at what she's doing. So he pushes her to do that, right?
But it's like that family thing of like, oh, we are not well off. So since I can't get my kid the PlayStation, I'm gonna come in his room and tell him all the reasons why he doesn't want a PlayStation, and
Yeah,
and manipulate him to believe that he doesn't need the PlayStation and he's
right.
better off without it.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. That's kind of, yeah. I
So
mean,
now she grows up with a mentality that anybody who has a PlayStation is whack because I didn't need that.
right, exactly. Yeah, now that's true. That's true because we see her come back later until Clint, like, look, you're relying on this, hearing aid, and now you
You're
suck.
a lesser.
Now you're crutched by this
You're
hearing
a
aid.
lesser. But really, the reason why I never relied on it is because my dad couldn't afford it.
Right, exactly. I know. Shoot. Dame says great parenting 101. And Smooth said great analogy. Yeah, very great analogy.
As parents, man, they gotta do what they gotta do
You
to
gotta do
make
what
you
you gotta do.
believe.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, and then that's why we got Chevy here. Chevy always comes up with the great insights and analogies that I can't come up with. So
Thank you.
other than that, the show would be boring as hell if it was just me. So go watch episode or go watch last Thursday show. You'll find out. I tried. So yeah, so we got to see her kind of grow up, ish, kind of in the same vein as Kate Bishop, but from a different, a different standpoint, a different, different inspirations. She had personal inspiration versus where Kate had survival inspiration. Survival inspiration from a rich girl. That's kind of weird, but
She's true. She traumatized just like the rest of us. I feel
exactly.
like if she could be an Avenger, she'd give all that up.
Yeah, exactly. And then Maya also got the shock of her life, or the life changing.
You keep glazing over a big moment that happened at the damn karate studio.
Oh no, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was trying to talk about that earlier, and he got distracted about the other situation. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me back up. So before she grows up, so we not only find out that she's deaf, but in that same flashback, we watch her go and do her training. I did mention her training earlier, but I didn't get just to finish. That we find out that she's missing her foot, and she also learns how to use that to her advantage in terms of not allowing that to hold her back, not allowing. And so she goes to or she's like at a match. She watches a couple of the boys fighting or whatever, doing their thing, and the big boy, he basically just uses his leverage and his size to overcome his enemies. And so then she basically watches how he does things, and then she sees his weaknesses, and so she uses her newfound skill, or not skill, her newfound information in order to beat him, even though she's missing that foot, and he underestimated her as well. So she was able to trip him up and knock him down and take the match. So thought that was pretty dope. What was your thought on there? Because you wanted me to talk about it.
No, I wanted you to talk about who touched her shoulder.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I don't know why I thought that came after the other part. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm tripping. Y'all gotta excuse me. So all right. So while we're watching all that as well, we get to see her at the. I think this was at the auto shop, right? When she walks in and sees the
No,
father.
it was
Where were they
when
at?
she was
Was
at
it?
her karate match, and her dad
Oh, it was
came and
at the
sat
karate
down
match.
and
Okay,
talked to her, and
right.
then he came up to her and touched her on her shoulder and told her to have a good match, and she said, "I
Right. Yeah.
can't."
So the father is I guess is basically his business partner, and but she knows the business partner, right? And like you said, she does call him uncle, and the hand that touched her, we definitely felt like we know who it is. I think I spoiled it last week for Echo, right? So I'm going to spoil it now. I believe it's Kingpin, and I'm sure Chevy does too.
Yeah, it's his voice. It's Vincent D'Onofrio's
I say
voice.
it's Vincent D'Onofrio's voice. It's the fact that he's a larger man, larger white guy, as well as it's the setting fits. Hell's Kitchen area. What up though? What up though, DJ Stacy? Appreciate you showing up. That a raid too. so and this is the same Kingpin that we had in Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix.
Yes, and
So
Charlie Cox is also been announced to be coming to the MCU. So you could try to tell me that wasn't Vincent D'Onofrio, but there is no denying his voice. Okay.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like I was like, this has definitely got to be his voice because I mean, as much as I don't be hearing stuff, I know that because like when at the end of Eternals, right? I didn't know that was Mahershala Ali's voice at the theater when I was there, but then as soon as I heard that this is Mahershala Ali's voice, I was like, oh shoot, it's Blade.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah. So definitely it was Vincent D'Onofrio. That's definitely he's coming back as the Kingpin, which is dope because
he killed that role.
Exactly. He's
scared of
definitely
him
been
now.
the best Kingpin ever. He's also that he's like the not only just his acting, but his size, his stature, his intensity. I think that's what it is. It's his intensity.
But no, Marvel is about to get dark, bro.
Yeah.
Marvel is about to get dark. If they're bringing that Wilson Fisk to the MCU, it's about to get real dark because that man is crazy as hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did some ruthless gangster stuff in Daredevil, and that show did not hold back. I mean,
I just remember beat a man with a car door.
I was just about to say that. I just remember the first episode that we got to see him go crazy. I think it was only like 2 or 3 episodes into Daredevil, and he beats the crap out of a guy, I think it was a Russian mafia guy, and then slams his head in the door with an SUV door to the point I think he busts the guy's head.
White meat. To the damn head was split in two.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely. And then I mean, some of the fight scenes between Daredevil and Wilson Fisk were just crazy.
Oh man,
he beat the crap out of Daredevil
every damn time.
Right.
Took
so definitely
5 people to help him beat that one man. He still didn't beat him. He's still alive. He ended up in jail, for goodness sake.
Right. So I definitely got excited when I saw that. I mean, I had already kind of heard and kind of saw like little glimpses because once again, people in their intensity to have to be first out in the before the show even shows. And but I was happy to see that this early on they're kind of giving us this. But then again, I guess it helps that it's only 9 episodes I think on this one as well. So a lot of these shows have to move kind of fast. They're not going to hold back too much too long. But yeah, so we definitely had glimpses of our first glimpses of Kingpin, and so we're looking forward to that. So she gets older, life-changing event turns out to be Ronan kills her father in the middle of his auto shop. She walks in on the axe, and Ronan, being Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, he's holding back as much as he can from letting people know who he was. I think the only person who technically knew when it was happening was Natasha. I'm sure somebody else at S.H.I.E.L.D. probably knew, but for the most part, he kept it a secret. I don't know, and I don't understand how he keeps losing the suit though. Like this is crazy to me. Like,
Well, that's the thing. From
you're a
what
whole
I'm
ninja
gathering,
assassin, and you can't hold
what
on to
I'm
your suit.
gathering is it was at the compound at the Stark Tower, and when I don't know if
Thanos came and destroyed it. Yeah,
I don't know if when Tony Stark died, he didn't have a will per se that was strategically like I don't know what happened when he died, and I think they need to really maybe they'll speak to it in Spider-Man, but they need to speak to what happened when he died, like how everything went because he was the funder of the Avengers for the most part.
right.
So, you know, what happened with that is a lot of that stuff when his stuff got sold, a lot of that stuff just went to the wayside, and a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their livelihoods because of the building being sold and Stark Industries.
Well, no, actually, so I see what you're getting at, but no, actually, so this is one of the problems that they have, and they have discussed this before,
Okay.
during the whole Agents of Shield transition, the original, not original, but the first Spider-Man movie also revealed this issue that they had, as well as a couple other like episodes of different shows kind of like spoke to this. But one of the bigger ones was the Spider-Man one, when the Vulture and his crew, which they were legitimate contractors hired by Tony Stark's company to come in and clean up after the Battle of New York, and then they started salvaging technology parts, things from the wreckage, and then remanufacturing them into something more, something different, or taking what they found and selling on the black market, things like that. So you're talking about having these, these contracting companies and these other kind of things, these real world situations that will happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming in, they're supposed to be cleanup for these larger events that happen. Avengers compound, like you said, it got destroyed during the battle with Thanos at the end of Endgame. So he comes up, shoots out of the time machine, proceeds to lay waste to the compound. So how Clint's suit got in the compound or got left behind in the compound, it could be more than likely attributed to that. Like maybe he took it off while he was going there to
Like after Natasha came to get him, because she came to get
exactly
him while he was in the
while he
process
was
of killing
still
somebody.
exactly. He may have left it in a room somewhere, or left it in his quarters, or whatever the case may be, because he was wearing one of the space suits, right? One of the time jump suits. So so when that whatever crew came in to clean all that up and get rid of everything that was at Avengers compound, they probably lost the suit at that time, just like they kept losing the suit throughout the first two episodes. So I guess it does make sense. It's crazy to me that a certified ninja, a renegade vigilante would allow his suit to continue to get lost like this. It's just crazy to me. Yeah. But I think that definitely explains that. I mean, it's because you got to think the Avengers themselves aren't going to be sitting there cleaning up, right? They're not going to be like, oh man, we got to get this.
And I mean, they may help a little, but not.
I don't see that. They're
you
like
might
the
see the
A-team,
Hulk
right?
pushing something up and putting it back to the wall.
Yeah.
But
a
lot of them disbanded. But a lot of them, after Tony died and Captain America walked away, they also and Natasha died, they disbanded.
Exactly.
Thor went to space with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Clint went home to be with his family and mourn Natasha.
Right.
I mean, who the fuck is Falcon went to be with his family.
Yeah, everybody did that, right?
Yeah, everybody disbanded.
Yeah.
There was really no, and shit, they still didn't know where what's his man Samuel L. Jackson was.
Right,
he in outer space.
You don't even realize he's in outer space. Yeah. Actually, I don't even think half of them know he's still alive. So right,
that could be too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's still a lot of disjointed things going on. So if Tony died, he been in space since No Way Home. Well, I don't even know how long he been in space. Right. So whoever was supposed to take over and take charge is either dead or not existing at this point because they're doing something else.
Right, exactly. Smooth said, see, this is why y'all are a perfect match for this. Willie has all the backstories and info, and Chevy has the heart and soul. Indeed. So yeah, so Clint and Kate are both tied up to the horses. They get to meet Echo. Echo comes out and she realizes that Clint's got some hearing aid in the hearing capability. So she starts, she's like, hey, I'm going to sign language with this guy and figure out what's going on. And so then she realizes that, oh, he's just fake deaf.
He was like, when he was like, he said you want something to eat or something. I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah, he's still trying to learn. He literally still trying to learn because he was like already frustrated since she came up to him and was like, let's sign. He was like, oh my God. Sign. Oh shoot, like come on, bro.
Oh, I am newly deaf.
Right. He's like, I am straight newly deaf. I straight just started this. Like, he's like, you got this much out of me. And so she makes him get tied up again. And, so she's pissed off because she basically wants to know who's Ronin. Is it really? And for some reason, she kind of really felt like Kate was really the Ronin, right? She's still.
And I don't know how, but she's young. But also, I think the reason why she was frustrated is because she thought she had found a familiar in him. And again, she has to be more to be in the room. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was, to me, from what I saw in that scene, that was more frustrating than even having them there and having to question them, because she thought that at this moment, even though this is my enemy or my friend of my enemy, maybe we can find a commonality,
right?
And be on one accord, and I can, not dumb myself down, but I can be a little bit more comfortable.
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely agree. She felt that way. Because you could tell in her stance, it changed as soon as she saw the hearing aid. She's like, oh shoot, like,
all right, this is Hawkeye. He got a hearing. Hawkeye got a hearing aid.
Right. Exactly. And then all of a sudden she's like, are you freaking
back to this again? I mean, because it's got to be tiring. Your dad told you that you're better than everybody, you're more special than everybody, and you don't need a hearing aid, and you don't need to do ASL, and you don't need to do all of that. But your dad is gone now. You don't have that champion constantly reassuring you that the way he raised you is the best way to have done it, and you're not even in the realms of people and groups of people that you belong to or feel safe around, because your dad kind of in a way wanted you to hide it.
Right, exactly.
So
definitely, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so you're not in rooms with other people that can sign. You're not around these environments and groups of people that you can go in and feel comfortable. So being that he is no longer alive and he was the one that convinced you that this way of being is okay, it's got to be hard to have to constantly not only be around dummies, because the people who work for you are dummies, but on top of that, you a leader who is deaf, and you have to trust others in moments where you may not be able to understand, to get your point across and to relay messages to you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because when the guy came in to tell her like, hey, we have the Ronin and the Hawkeye, and she's just like, just get out of here. Like, you're already on my nerves, right? So yeah, definitely. I definitely agree 100% what you're saying. And, so we saw that frustration. She moves on, and then she gets pissed off that Kate's there, or that Kate's, she feels like the Kate is the Ronin. She's pissed off because she has the flashback of her dad getting killed by the Ronin. And, and Kate's already got fighting skills that, kind of resemble a person with martial arts skills. So they're automatically like, okay, this has got to be her for real.
And she also annoying as hell. So
yeah, exactly. And she's super annoying. But what I think that she discounted was the fact that Kate was so young. Like, look, you can literally look at Kate. Like, she really the Ronin?
She can't be.
Right, exactly. Like, being that young and that small, like, can she really be that person you saw killing your dad? Like, come on, let's be for real.
But Clint is also an idiot for using Natasha Romanoff killed the Ronin, but Natasha Romanoff is dead. Did you really think that was going to be an answer that was going to be
satisfactory to them?
Yeah.
But I mean, but it was the truth.
I mean, yeah, she was like, he has to die if you want to live. Come with me. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. It's like, Black Widow really did come and stop the Ronin from doing
I
what he
was
was
like,
doing.
damn, he ain't wrong. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
he ain't wrong.
And then she basically made him, hang up that sword, So it was really Natasha that killed the Ronin, and then she died, right? So it's not.
So, woo,
Yeah.
You can't call her up on the phone and ask her.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but like you said, yeah, it also sounded like a convenient story.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of I want to get revenge for who killed my father, and now you're telling me, oh yeah, I'm sorry, that's a moot point at this point. Smooth agrees. Says she is very immature. She knows that girl didn't do it, but she wants somebody to pay. And that's what it is. The bottom line, she wants somebody to pay.
Yep. And also what I noticed from body language and just, acting is that you can tell that everybody is trying to figure out why Clint is so invested. If he not the Ronin and if she not the Ronin.
Right.
So who the Ronin?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And why are you protecting a murderer, sir? Right. And you an Avenger, sir?
But and I think that's the thing is like, I think that he's, he well, at least he should be able to have that stand that, hey, I'm trying to do what's right because I know that this is not what happened. This is not the situation. This is not the person you're looking for. And so listen to me. I'm an Avenger. I why would I steer you wrong, right? That kind of thing. But yeah, nobody's picking up 2 and 2, right? But yeah, from a standpoint of and like Smooth said, she's blinded by rage. So Clint, does his usual spy stuff and breaks out of the bindings, and he's out of there, runs off to go find his stuff, and starts to fight, right? And between him and Maya, some of the other Tracksuit Mafia guys, Kate's there still trying to figure out how to get out of her bindings.
But I like this part too, because last week we acknowledged how good the girl who playing Kate Bishop is, because when she confident, but when she's afraid, she's afraid. Yeah. And I loved how in that moment after the girl choked her, and she was all, oh my God.
She was shook. She was shook.
And he was like, no, baby, not now, not now. You said you wanted this, right? You said you wanted to do this. Now let me show you what we got to do to get out of this, because you can't want to be this and be afraid in those moments like that, because these are the moments that you're supposed to shine.
You got to excel, right? You got to, yeah, exactly. You got to be able to face adversity. So Clint and Echo go at it. We get to see some of the other Tracksuit Mafia try to get into the mix. Clint finally grabs his arrow. It's on and popping. He's shooting folks, getting them bound to the walls, shooting them in the back, which is always funny to me. Like there's always this half and half of him trying to subdue people to him literally not killing them, but like
hurting them severely, like puncturing a lung, possibly.
Exactly, quite possible. Because you get shot in your back with an arrow, that's going straight to your lung, possibly other parts of or other organs as well. So yeah, that can't feel good.
Oh, and also he don't have a hearing aid at this point.
Oh, right. The hearing aids are, because I think Maya already done pulled it out.
Yeah, and it fell out his head. Yeah, because he don't have a good hearing aid. He don't want the damn thing, so he got the one that can fall out at any moment instead of the one that
that locks in. And
all because he don't want it. So now she done stepped on it, and now he out here shooting arrows. Right. And I love how they did it. Like it made you feel like you were in it with him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love when they do that kind of thing. Kind of put you into the perspective of the person that's going through it. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that part too. They finally get to the part where he shoots and pins Maya to the wall, and then he ends up shooting an arrow over at Kate, splits her tape, shoots the other guy, I think, in his ear,
which was cold.
Yes, that was super cool. Like he done shot this man in his ear. Kazi, that's was his name. He done shot Kazi in the ear. It done came straight through, hit the bindings, the tape binding, that had Kate all hemmed up, and then she's off to the races. Now she's involved in the fight, which it's that fight or flight thing that you mentioned for her before. It's like when she was kind of taken by surprise, it was like, oh my God, she was shook. But then once she knew she understood the assignment, like everybody said, now, she was able to get unbound and get right to it. She's in there fighting. She grabs, her bow, Kazi, and tosses him. She grabs the bow, so she's doing her thing with the bow. Clint's really seeing her do her thing, which I thought
they was doing a thing. That was good. That was good. That was great.
Yeah. Smooth said, I like how in the fight scene, Kate only fights one person the whole time. She whooping his ass thoroughly, but it shows she's not ready to do what's need to be done if need be. Exactly, yeah. Because she's, you got to think what her training's been all the time. Her training's been fight this one person.
In a classroom, though.
Practice on this dummy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She's never had to do, straight combat as well.
Where it's life or death.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's but she still has great skills, right? We see she's got a lot of potential.
I like when she be doing them slides, like she be doing them slides.
Yeah, the slides and the flipping people over and stuff. And, so she's definitely got that. And I mean, and really
too. And I didn't know how cold he was with hand-to-hand combat until this. Because usually you see him he usually got the assignments to do from a distance, to do some shooting, it's a pow with some arrows, so you never really get to see him in close to hand combat.
Exactly. Well, I was convinced of that when he became the Ronin and how he was doing that, because he didn't use arrows anymore. He was mainly doing hand combat, sword play, stuff like that. So I thought that was dope to show that there's this other side to his skill set. Because like you said, we always think of him as that far away sniper, with his arrows. And then what was it? They
get in the car, they go on the car chase.
Right. So they get out. They I forgot what kind of car it was, but they see the two cars. Kate wants the really cool looking car. Smooth, or Clint's like, I do want to say Smooth because that's Clint's name. But Clint's like, no, we're not about to smash that car like that. So they jump into the older car, and then we're off on the chase, which I always love a good chase. That's like, but some of my favorite action is the chase. But then they did something different. We're talking about 360 camera situation they had set up, and all the in and out of the car action that they were doing. It was dope. So I definitely.
I mean, that episode might be an 8.5 though.
Right. The car chase was classic. The 360 camera was innovative, and
he's still giving us death vibes, because every time she say something to him, we muffled. The sound is muffled, and he drives a whole ass car, and he can't hear nothing.
Exactly. So it leaves Kate to do all the arrow work, and then we find out that he has no more regular arrows. He's like, you got to make these other arrows count. You got to know what they are. And it was like him pulling out arrows, like, no, you can't use this. I thought that was hilarious.
But her also doing her own thing, because he can't hear her. So they're not really communicating, but they think a lot alike. So it's like, this will be easier from the front. And it's like, oh, this will be easier from the front. And then she looking at him like, I just said, oh, you can't hear me. So it's like these freaking Ghostbuster 2 ooze, or no, better example, Power Rangers movie ooze coming out of.
Yes, the Power Ranger movie, yes. Exactly.
But my favorite arrow by far was the Ant-Man arrow.
Yes, that was dope. That was, because we didn't see it coming.
Not at all.
Yeah. Smooth said, yeah, it may be a B+ Chevy, the more I think about it. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was a good ass episode, and they were doing a lot with editing.
And that was the thing. That's why I was like, I don't see why people didn't think that it was on par with episodes 1 and 2, or better, actually, better. And I was just about to say that, Smooth. Their on-screen chemistry took off too, because we saw them going from episode 1 or episode 2 really, when it was like she was basically an annoyance to him. Then he started to like kind of take notice, and then episode 3 we see him really give her props. Like, look, like, at first when you told me you were one of the world's greatest archers, I was a little skeptical, but I think you're right. Like, you
know, you pretty good, girl.
You were like, you really are that good. Like he did not hold up. Like, he's like, your fighting needs some work. This needs some work. Your decision making needs some work. But your arrow skills are impeccable. Like, definitely on point with him. So, which is the amazing part, because how do you practice something like that, right? Besides knowing what he's out there doing and then practicing that and excelling at that. She definitely done that. So we got to see, what was it? It was the putty arrow that engulfed the windshield of the car. We got to see
the other one, the sticky arrow. One. But then it made sense.
It made sense later. Yeah. So the explosive arrow that blew up the truck. There was the
damn, y'all shouldn't have used that right now. That's what I said after they did it. I was like, all of that for a car chase? I think y'all should have held on to that one.
Right. And then
where's this arrow when y'all was in Wakanda?
right, exactly. They should have been blowing up those monsters with that. That's for sure. And then he said the trust he had in her to be the shooter instead of the driver says it all. No, actually, you got to remember, he wanted her to drive. Yeah, he wanted her to be the driver at first, but then once he started letting her shoot, it was like he did gain that trust. So yeah, you're right. He did eventually gain that trust, and he was impressed at her ability to make it work when she didn't even understand what she was doing. Like, for her to be able to take control of his arrows, and then without understanding what each one did, and still accomplish.
And not only that, use his bow, because using other people's bows is not normal, because they're made for use specifically. So you have to be a really good bow and arrow person, whatever they call
archer. Yeah,
there you go.
You have to be a really great archer. Smooth said facts. You got to be a really great archer in order to take command of somebody's bow. And even then, it's still a struggle. But she did not struggle at all. She was able to make it work. I mean, and you're talking about, when you talk about having a bow made to your specifications, it's for your strength too. So she's literally pulling the bow at the same strength that he does, or having that strength control that he has.
While riding in a car that's on a high-speed chase.
Exactly. So she, her cognizant ability to kind of adjust to the situation is great. We're seeing that already, and that potential is far exceeded. So they finally, I think he handed her the acid arrow at the last thing to take down the traffic lights. And then, then there was the smoke arrow that filled up their car, and they crashed. And so they were able to get on the bridge. So they get to the bridge. They see the truck or whatever, blazing towards them and everything. And then they take the
sticky arrow, and it saves their damn lives.
Yeah, exactly. They use that to get out of the thing. And then they use the Ant-Man arrow. She shoots it up. He tells her to shoot it, and then he takes out the Ant-Man arrow, shoots it, and makes it huge, and just takes out the entire car or whatever truck that they had. So that was dope. And then he shoots out the sticky arrow, the plunger arrow that grabbed that back because it was just stuck to the windshield or something.
Yeah.
And then they used that to get up out of there and swing away. So that was dope. It was and I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same scene that we get to see in the trailers when they both grab onto the arrow at the same time. So so it was a dope.
But it's so funny because just telling this story without their dialogue is hilarious, because you would think it was so serious, but no, it was damn hilarious because it's hilarious. He can't hear shit she's saying because he don't have a hearing aid, so she just going a mile a minute, just saying whatever she want to say, because he can't hear nothing she's saying, and he just talking and he just saying stuff, and it's just hilarious. And it's like that up until the next scene.
right. And what was that in the subway or in the restaurant?
Yes.
And then
and he finally turns his damn
because they went and got the new hearing aid. So he has the hearing aid at the restaurant, and he's able to now hear her finally,
and he
or
like,
choose
oh,
to
she
hear her.
like, you didn't hear nothing I said. Okay.
Right, exactly. And so, but yeah, after all of that chasing, Maya and Kazi have their conversation as well. Maya's still on edge. She's still, on 10. Kazi's like, look, you need to chill out. Like, we drawn a lot of attention just trying to go after this Ronin character. He already told us the guys
like that,
right? And he's like, let me remind you who's in charge. And she's like, oh yeah, Uncle's in charge. Like, yeah, let's get it together. Right?
No, she said, no, I'm in charge.
Right?
And
she said
telling me what to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but it's like the whole thing is like he's telling her like, look, you need to get it together. You're out of control. And I think that this also speaks to her character in terms of just her like I think Smooth said it earlier, her blind rage, right, and her inability to just basically decide like, hey, you know what, what's more important here, this business, the situation we're in, or me getting this revenge on this costume character that may or may not be dead. So,
but I mean, you really could call it death rage because she is she's not really in the world that we live in. Mm-hmm. So she can get hung up on things because she has a chip on her shoulder already.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed.
She has not had a normal life. She had her father for a long time, given the business that he dealt in.
Right.
And I don't think she really realized how serious it was until he was killed. But the rage, her father dying was just another chip.
Yeah, indeed. That's true. Yeah.
She couldn't watch movies like everybody else. It's not the fact of being different, because there's nothing wrong with being different, but the difference is that we see in other people who we feel have more than us. Keep in mind, it's not just about her being able to hear or not. She was disadvantaged because she didn't have what other people had. On top of the fact that she had a leg, she had a missing body part, and she couldn't hear. So on top of being poor and having to work the family business that was in an illegal form, how much did she give up of her life to be a part of his world, to be a part of her father's world? She never had a normal life. Yeah, so who's she really mad at?
Yeah.
Is she mad at Ronin for killing her daddy, or is she mad that her daddy even made her have to be
I think she's mad about being in that kind of world situation, right? She's mad at that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But then her father was kind of her calm peace, right? That was her comfort, right?
Yep.
Because he understood her
in. Yeah.
Exactly. He understood her. He was able to keep her, basically on the right path, on the right track, to whatever she was doing. I don't think she was fully clear on what she wanted to do past that, but him dying was like, now it puts her on this fast track,
right? To now it's off of what my daddy wanted me to do, to me avenging his death, because the only thing I lived for and I did was what he wanted me. He wanted me to be this warrior. He wanted me to do all of these things. Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, I did. I probably went to college, but he wanted me to be this great warrior because he knew he was gonna die one day, and he wanted me to take up the mantle. So that's what I lived for. And now that he's dead, what do I have?
Yeah. Smooth say deep down.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's the point I was trying to make. Yeah. Deep down, she's not mad at the man who killed her dad. She mad at her dad for even allowing for her to have to be a part of that world.
Yeah. True that. The whole basic thing of you left me in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about everything I could have did with my life, because you're no longer here to manipulate me to believe that this is what my life should be. Anytime I questioned
and maybe in similar to Kate's situation, be the protector. Be her protector. You know, she didn't probably need a physical protection, but she needs this psychological protection, this protection from the hearing world, right?
But the difference is Kate manipulates herself to believe that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maya was manipulated by her father to believe that.
Indeed, yeah.
And it's all gonna come to head for both of them, I believe.
Yeah,
I truly believe
you let me skip a part.
Oh, what?
So before he got his new or his repaired hearing aid, Clint and Kate went back to her aunt's apartment, and
oh my God,
yeah, they got cleaned up, and then
mm.
he gets the call, which he thought it was his
Oh.
wife. Turns out it's his son. He can't hear him. Kate's trying her best to write down what the son is saying so he can talk to the son. You know, definitely heartbreaking moment, you know, having to watch Clint, you know, basically struggle to communicate with his son, and also communicate the fact that he may not make it home for Christmas. I don't know what day it is at this point. I got lost somewhere.
Well, they had 5 days. He said he had 5 days.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. So which at first when they first said that they were leaving to go back home, the kids were leaving to go back home, I was like, oh, there's plenty of time for him to rescue Kate, get everything settled, and get back to Kansas or wherever they're going. But you know, the whole situation, he's trying to mend all these situations before he leaves, and you know, catching that flight and getting home right in time is seeming like it's getting too close.
I'm telling you, I still don't think he's gonna make it.
And right. I mean, it's getting real skeptical. But you know, I think that that moment right there, that's that gut punch I was talking about earlier. It's like we got to see that real human emotion. You know, he's trying his best to convince himself, if not, you know, not just his son, that, you know, everything's going to be okay, that he's going to make it and get back in time, that kind of thing. The only thing that I thought it was missing in that was the fear of not making it at all, right? You know what I mean?
He can't have that. He can't have that.
Yeah.
From a father perspective, he can't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, between being a hero and a father,
yeah.
Like,
but
I
also
that, but
I think also for Kate, now for us, we know Clint is human because he's standing next to people with superpowers.
Right.
But that's her superhuman. To
right.
her, that humanized him to her.
Yeah.
And that was a realization, looking at him and saying, wow, not only does he have a family that loves him, that wants him to be there for him, but he going through stuff and he here trying to help me. He risking his life. This is a man. This is a human man.
A human person. This is a person. And it's a person whose life you're messing up. You know?
I'm messing up his life. I have put him on a pedestal. I have made him a superhero, which he is.
Yeah.
But he just like me. He bleeds the same blood I bleed.
Yep.
I mean, so does Tony Stark, but he got armor on top of it.
Yeah, he's got the whole
the Batman.
A nanotech, right? But yeah, so they go to the restaurant. They have the conversation. Well, Kate's having the conversation about wanting to rebrand Hawkeye, which is funny because the costume she drew out was one of his comic book costumes, and then you know, Kate also starts to speculate that Ronan is somebody that was close to him. She's trying to put together who is the Ronan, why is he so invested in this whole situation. You know, he talks about being a role model, right? Not being a role model, rather.
And she kind of cut into his ass.
Exactly, yeah, because she's like, hey, you know what? No, you know, this is the example of you being a role model. You're taking time out of your life, out of your, you know, family's time to come rescue me from this situation, and all for a total stranger, right? You know, and the fact that he's done this for years, you know, on a world scale, you know, and then you know, I mean, I think it kind of, you know, it kind of hit for him, but I think he still's like, you know what, but you know, I'm a spy. I'm supposed to be invisible. I'm supposed to be, you know.
But not only that, Clint don't want to be in that life no more.
Oh,
you know,
right?
I think that
for a long time he's been that way, right?
Yeah, he has. And I think the Ronan situation just snapped him because he lost his family. And, you know, if it's one thing that I see, you know, Sam had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But he didn't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out because he wanted a foot out. He needed to help his family. And that's why he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Right.
Clint is committed to his family, and he has lost a piece of his family in the fight. And he no longer wants to fight anymore. And this situation is making him have to drudge up emotions about things that he never really dealt with, because when his family came back, he just been making himself available to his family.
Right.
And it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit he can't talk about.
Right.
And he ain't going to no meetings, and he not getting no therapists, and it wasn't mandated for him to do so like others.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he dealing with a lot of that, and this girl is bringing up a lot of those feelings, dealing with people. Clint's so out of it. It from the moment the show started to now, it don't even seem like he deal with people other than his family.
Exactly.
Like
he doesn't. Yeah.
And you can tell. You can tell. He has literally said, my best friend dead. I got a farm. If I don't have to leave a farm, I'm not leaving.
Right. Exactly.
He literally has cut himself off from the world. And he don't want that responsibility no more. He don't want that notoriety no more. He don't want that.
Right. He didn't want the notoriety to begin with.
Right.
More.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What they decide to.
Oh shoot! So I didn't realize it's actually 6 episodes. It's not 9. That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
I think I knew that it was 6, and I think it's terrible because I think we're going to be wanting more.
Right.
I think we're exactly because we halfway done. It's halfway over.
We're halfway through it. Exactly. So yeah, by the end of it, we get to see Pizza Dog again. They talk about naming them. Again, I think the general fan consensus is keep it Pizza Dog.
Pizza Dog didn't like Pizza Dog.
Did he not like it, or did he like?
No,
I thought he liked it.
He didn't like pizza. He was like,
right.
I don't like that.
He did respond to it though.
That's a cute dog though, in real life. That's a cute dog.
Which I thought it was interesting. You know, you have Clint with the hearing issue and Maya as well, and then the dog is blind in one eye. Like got all this inclusion.
Right. So what they decide? Well, Kate decides that, you know, I'm a part of this. You're not letting you. I'm not sitting out.
Right.
We need to go to my mom's house so I can break into her security system so we can get more information on Kazi, because they're wanting to go question him to see where Maya is. What's going on? Right.
And then and Clint also, I think, gives her the update that, like, look, you know, there's somebody else over Maya. This is not, you know, that she's not the top, you know. So
he did say that as well. Yeah, and he said that he might know who it is.
Yeah, I felt like he was hinting at the fact that he knows who it is as well. So I think that's interesting as well.
That is interesting because who all got blipped and who all didn't, first of all. Right. And second of all, what realms were you running in to run into possibly Mr. Fisk himself?
Right. But he was all over New York, right? When he was killing off.
Shit, he was in Hong Kong when Natasha found him.
Exactly. And then I believe, did he try to go to Myanmar as well? I think he might have tried to go there as well. So he had his hands deep in a bunch of stuff. And then
well, it seems like all the criminals did not get blimped.
Well, so, I what I'm guessing is, if I'm understanding correctly, is that Kingpin may have gotten blipped. Maybe that's why he never went after Kingpin during his run as the Ronin. And then when he was or snapped, and then when he was blipped back, he was already done as the Ronin, so there was no going back to get Kingpin. So, and the Kingpin probably came back and just continued his reign of crime. Yeah. So like you said, they go to the house or go to the whatever that is, that palatial mansion that they have.
Man, that townhouse is more than a townhouse. Okay.
Exactly. And then while she's trying to hack into mom's laptop,
she's such an idiot.
Yeah, at the end of it, she ends up getting locked out. So somebody's already onto her that something's going on. And then
I just think she wasn't putting in the right password, to be honest.
Well, no, she did. She got in.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she did get in, and she started pulling up information, and then they locked her out. So I was like, she done already got caught, you know, messing around. And then I was like, how you got a whole security company, but your house is all wide open?
Right.
So then she goes in, or then Clint goes into the back because he's hearing something. and turns out it's Jack
with the Ronin sword. Mm-hmm. And then they left us on a cliffhanger.
The cliff.
Oh my God. I was like, I was literally watching and I'm like, oh. And then I was like, wait. And then I rewinded and I said, what? That's it.
That's it. I thought that was the one thing about this episode. It felt like it was so short. I was like, wait a minute, like, where's the rest of the episode? Like,
I rewinded, like, maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, right. So
y'all not gonna end it like that. Like,
right. So definitely, I thought that was the crazy part about it. It was like, which I thought, led to the fact that this had a lot of action in it. This show or this episode had a lot of action in it. It was nonstop, and it had it still progressed the story quite well.
Yeah,
it was more backstory as well as more forward story, and then more.
I feel like the most backstory.
You said the most backstory?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So all in all, great episode. Like we said earlier, I think we're all changing our ratings again. We're all talking about 8, 7.5, 8s, B pluses, everything.
Yeah, no, that episode was actually really freaking good. Like, it's definitely, it should be an 8. At least an 8.
Definitely.
I mean, with all the fun and the camera angles.
Yes. I mean, we can, and as videographers, photographers, and video editors, I think we're going to appreciate that part of it. Like, what work they put into doing that and making that work. And then the choreography behind it, that's just amazing. It was awesome. So Hawkeye episode 3, definitely one for the books. Looking forward to episode 4. I'll be watching that later tonight. Chevy just finished it, so we're definitely looking forward to a great recap and review next week. I don't think anything big happened in terms of trailers or anything like that. I know there was a redone.
Well, do not go online. It's already being spoiled. So if you're going to watch it, you need to watch it tonight because Entertainment Weekly spoiled it.
Oh, really?
So I'm not talking about little people. Like, I literally went on Entertainment. Like, I was on my timeline and Entertainment Weekly spoiled it. So you kind of need to go watch it.
All right. So I'm definitely going to get off of here and go right to my TV, watch some Disney Plus, and make sure you guys do the same thing. Go check out Hawkeye episode 3 and 4 and get caught up. So I did go see Venom 2 this weekend or this past weekend.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. My son reminded me, like, we got to see the end credit scene in Venom 2 so that we're ready for Spider-Man. I was like, okay, that's all we knew.
Oh my God, do I need to see that?
Yeah, you got to see it.
Oh no, is it on DVD yet? Is it on VOD yet?
No, it's on VOD. It is on VOD.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rent it. I might have to watch it after we get done.
Yeah, I went to the movies to see it, which was fun, being able to go watch it at the movie theater. What else did I recently see? I recently saw
I went to go see House of Gucci.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How was that?
I enjoyed it. The acting was great. I
thought it would be. I thought it looked really good. It did look really good. So I definitely did want to see that movie, which I thought was weird because as I was watching it at first, the first part of the trailer, I was like, what is this? By the end of it, I was like, I need to see this. Like, I really need to see. Like, I don't understand why we didn't know all this history about Gucci, but this looks dope. Like,
well, it's a very campy version of the history of Gucci, but it is kind of messed up. But it's great. The acting is great. Selma Hayek, Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, Jared Leto. Great. They all did great. It definitely gave me Godfather vibes for some odd reason.
Yes, that's what I was doing. I was getting both Godfather vibes and some.
No, Gaga killed it though. Yeah. Adam Driver did great too, and Jeremy Irons is so. I mean, you say what you want to say about Jared Leto, but Jared Leto is an amazing actor.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's gotten some bad roles or some good roles in bad movies. That.
Yes, he has. Yeah. He has, definitely. I agree. His Joker wasn't made for that. The Joker he gave for that movie wasn't good enough. The movie wasn't good enough for his Joker.
For his Joker, yeah, exactly.
He took it seriously. They didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Like he really got disservice. They did him a great disservice.
They're doing him and Maggie Robbie a disservice. You can't have Oscar winning actors in these superhero movies and then expect people to want to come to your franchise or your universe if y'all doing these people such a disservice with the scripts that y'all giving up. You know, Henry Cavill, he just talked about how he is literally waiting on them to call him to do Superman. And I'm like, y'all need to send that boy a script. Like, he is one of the best Supermans to me since Tom Welling. So I'm
about to say since who?
So like, they need to call that man and they need to do right by him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm still not.
You don't like him though.
You know, I don't like Henry Cavill. I despise the Man of Steel. I do not like Man of Steel at all. And I see they're about to make Man of Steel 2 finally. I'm like, I'm straight. I'm good. Y'all bamboozled me enough already. I'm good.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. It's not the actor's fault.
Yeah.
It's their fault. How you got Maggie Robbie?
Yeah, she's been awesome as Harley Quinn. She's been awesome. Yeah. I was more happier with Birds of Prey than I expected. Still wasn't great, but it was more than I expected. So I definitely appreciated it. But yeah, like you said, in the what you want to call it, Deadpool? What is it called?
What are you talking about?
The movie she's in with the rest of those idiots.
Suicide Squad 1.
Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. You know, it was like she was great, but the rest of it.
Oh, you didn't like the second one?
I haven't seen the second one. It just I saw a lot of the previews. I saw a lot of the previews.
That one is good.
I still need to watch it. Yeah,
unless you don't like rats.
Unless you don't like who? Rats.
Rats.
I haven't heard about that, but I'm still.
I mean, seriously, if you don't like rats, it's like me watching Harry Potter 2. It's probably not for you.
Oh, the spider movie.
It's probably not for you.
Okay, got you.
Because I'm gonna tell you one thing: them spiders in that Deathly Hallows 2 almost took me the hell out because I didn't know they was gonna be there.
Right, exactly. But
if you don't have an issue with like a phobia with rats, you probably be able to. Because my roommate, he couldn't do it.
I did see the preview for the Peacemaker movie, the little
TV show
teaser trailer, for the Peacemaker TV show.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna watch that, you need to kind of watch the movie.
Exactly, yeah. And it looked like it's gonna be a whole team dynamic to that as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's
it's based off the movie. It's based off what happens in the movie. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So so I definitely need to watch the movie for that. But I did like the Suicide Squad, and I think I'm going to like because what everybody's telling me is that if you like the Suicide Squad, you're going to love the Suicide Squad. So
what?
If you like Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad,
you're going to love
that was the difference. That's the difference between
loved them. Love that.
They say if you really like the first one, you're gonna love the second one. That's what I've been told.
I only liked the second one.
Smooth said the second one was trash. Did you like the first one or no?
Oh hell no.
See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're saying if you like the first one, then you're gonna love the second one. If you did, if you didn't, then you get these kind of mixed reviews where it's like, yeah, I liked it. I liked the second one, but the first one was trash. That kind of. Oh man, Smooth said the first one was better. Interesting.
Whoa.
Interesting.
It was the editing for me. It was the editing. Like
the editing absolutely sucked in the first one. Absolutely. Like I didn't know what we walked into and where we were going in the first one.
I mean, how is Viola Davis soaking wet and then she's totally dry? Like I don't get it.
How is half the building destroyed and then it isn't at the same time?
I mean, like, oof. That movie was
too many continuity errors.
Yeah, it was definitely like Patrick Swayze's jeans in Dirty Dancing. Like it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
On top of the writing being bad, on top of half of the character. I mean, the characters being killed off at the beginning of the movie.
But actually, I think Smooth talked about this before. I think if I'm not mistaken, Smooth, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Smooth didn't like how it went from not that serious to seriously not that serious. Like it was.
He did.
Yeah, it was campy in the first. It was just utterly ridiculous in the second, as far as he was concerned. In terms,
it was. I agree with that. It was. It definitely was. What I say about the Suicide Squad that makes me not be able to take DC serious is because they go from serious ass Batman movies and serious ass Wonder Woman movies and all these super serious movies, and then you expect me to think that these people all exist in the same universe. Whereas you got Deadpool, and it's like, well, Deadpool is not a part of the MCU, so we can accept why this movie does not feel the same as this. But y'all expect us to believe that the DCU that you created has all of these characters in it together, walking around the same city. And this city over here is super campy and weird and cool. But then the place where Superman from is all serious and like it don't add up. Now you can tell me the Dark Knight and Man of Steel don't exist in the same universe, but you can't tell me Batman and Superman, Batman and Man of Steel, Superman don't exist in the same universe, and then tell me that Harley Quinn and the Joker exist in their universe, and these movies are so contrastingly different, and they never meet at any point to make it cohesive. Whereas when they bring Deadpool in, when they bring William Fisk in, if they do, when they bring Charlie Cox in, they're going to make it cohesive, and they're going to explain to us why it's getting more serious, and they're going to show us how the mood has changed. You know, that's what I don't understand about DCU. They
just don't have it together.
They don't
at all. They don't have it together at all. They don't understand how do you make a universe. They don't even understand.
It's like you can't have this dark and dreary place and then everything lights up and is golden, and then you expect me to believe that these people exist in the same world. Like that end scene of the Snyder cut of Justice League with the Joker in it. It's just like, you can't expect me to think that these people exist in the same universe when their worlds are so different.
Yeah. Or there's no reference point, right? To make them the same. Yeah, there's no reference point. So yeah.
If they bring William Fisk in and Charlie Cox in, we're going to see those worlds, and they're going to look similar to the worlds they came from. They're not going to be a culture shock for us,
right?
Because Marvel know what the hell they doing.
Smooth said they just make an action movie. They give us no storylines at all, bro, at all. They don't. DCU doesn't even understand how to make a storyline. Like, they don't get it. They just don't get it, which is sad to me, because you got a whole animation studio over there at Warner Brothers that's killing it. That's literally killing it.
Yeah, because they animated films
their animated shows are awesome.
They good, and not only the TV shows are good.
Yeah, the TV shows are really good.
They killing the TV game. Yeah. They killing the TV game.
And the continuity in that is amazing. The continuity in that is amazing.
Yeah, bringing those worlds together.
Yeah, they constantly bring those together, and they make sense. When they bring them together, they make sense.
Even on the HBO Max shows, it's still good, and they able to bring those worlds together. I don't know why they can't get it right, and maybe it's because they have done this so many times before Marvel was even taken seriously, because they didn't get taken seriously until they made Blade. But that was years after Batman 1 and 2 and Batman 1 and 2 and Batman 1 and 2.
and the 17 Superman movies.
And the Superman movies. So they have been making these movies all along and never made them cohesive. Right. So they were so used to, we'll hire this person to do it. We'll hire this person to do it. We want to tell a new story. We want to tell a new story. Okay, right. Everybody tell the story at the same time.
But you know, the problem too is you're talking about a studio that decided that because this other studio is making so much money off of a shared universe, they decided, we need to do a shared universe too, without understanding the formula at all. Without deciding, you know what, let's create a formula for ourselves, or understand how this formula works. So then that way we can tell good stories and bring them together. If let's be honest, let's be 100% honest, with the exception of the Avenger movies, Marvel does not technically bring their characters together on a movie by movie basis. We're talking about these separate, really good stories that happen at the same time period, and that they make a reference, they give reference, and that's all we need is reference. You know, oh yeah, I heard about the Battle of New York. That's all they say.
Like even on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that just gets us excited, because it's like, y'all care.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you start saying, okay, now we can start introducing a character here, make them cross over into another movie. Take a character over here, make them cross, because they're all still here, right? They're all still here. But it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And Marvel has excelled at that formula and making it work. And I just think that DC doesn't understand character development. They do not understand character development at all. They just are like, well, our characters from the comic books, so here they are. Drop them in the
But also,
movie.
we have 25,000 movies as well, so we don't need to tell you how we start creating a DCM, whatever the hell it's called, DCU, whatever the hell that thing, after we make Dark Knight, and we make what, 3 of those. Oh, and it was good, like good as hell. So now we want to, Christian Bale don't want to do it no more. So now we decided we want to do this, but we can't make another Batman movie because we just made 3 and they were good, and we can't compete with that. So we're going to make we already made a shitty Superman movie.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to make a semi-better Superman movie, but not much better. And then we're going to say, oh, well, we'll just make a Batman, but put him in the Superman movie, because we can't make another Batman movie because we just finished
a whole Batman series. Exactly. Exactly.
So this is already half-assed now. And then we're going to try to make one movie and bring in characters that we don't know for real. Like Cyborg, because we only know him from Teen Titans at this point. And Aquaman, who we only know in jokes.
Not in jokes. I mean, technically, we haven't seen Aquaman since the Super Friends.
Yeah, but really, Adult Swim jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Cartoon TV shows like Family Guy jokes. And then we have the well-respected and revered Wonder Woman. But we just put them all in a movie together and expect everybody.
Who we technically also hadn't seen since 1973. So.
Right. and this is what we get.
Right. Which is also crazy to me, because then we ended up getting that really great Wonder Woman movie after the fact. It was like, who wrote this and didn't contribute over here? Like, I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know what Peggy Jenkins doing, because she done got kicked off 2 movies. She didn't I don't know what she doing. I think people are scared now because of Wonder Woman 2, so they're not letting her have full reign like they did with Wonder Woman 2.
That could be. Yeah. I mean, that movie was so disappointing. It was so terribly disappointing.
It was like they were pandering to women
too much, but from a standpoint of that, women don't really need that kind of pandering, right? It's like
all we need is love. And women want to see love,
right?
Not fighting.
Yeah, no, them women want to see fighting.
And they did such a disservice to Kristen Wiig.
Oh yeah.
How you gonna make her a bad guy in a superhero movie and then the movie trash like that?
Exactly.
Because Kristen Wiig is a really good actress.
Well, I thought the character, besides the kind of her origin, because her origin kind of sucked, but I thought the character, from a standpoint of being a really strong, female villain, was a good female villain that could have been just developed better, and I think she did a good job with what she had. I thought she did a good job with what she had, I didn't like the nerd part at the beginning, but I liked everything else.
No, because this show gave me Batman Returns vibes.
Exactly. It was the same exact character. Same exact character. Yeah. As Selena Kyle. That's what it was. Michelle Pfeiffer, Selena Kyle. It was the same exact character. So yeah.
Which can only be done once.
Right. Which even and technically when they did that, it was not that great, but it was new-ish at the time,
Yeah. So for the times it was great, but that's one of my favorite.
We let it go, and she was an awesome Catwoman. So
yes, that's one of my favorite Batman movies. So,
yeah.
But I'm a Tim Burton fan, so
yeah. But yeah, I forgot how we got here, but basically, I am gonna watch the second.
Oh, Venom. That's how we got here.
I watched Venom. I am going to watch the second. I watched the second Venom. I am going to watch the second Suicide Squad. You need to watch the second Venom. Spider-Verse. I knew it was something that did come up. The new Across the Spider-Verse trailer dropped.
Yes.
Part 1. So there's going to be 2 parts to this movie.
And I did not know the girl who played Kate Bishop did Gwen Stacy.
It's actually Spider-Gwen as well. So yeah, as well as Spider-Man 2099 is played by Oscar Isaac, who's going to play Moon Knight. So we have a lot of MCU crossing over from the.
But I mean, once you get a job with them, you kind of got a job with them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just it. They bring in Scarlett Johansson back for a secret project, so they're gonna bring her back to life, y'all.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I don't think she's gonna be brought back to life. I think she's gonna be a different character. Yeah, I think she's gonna be a different character. So let's mark my words. My words. They're going to bring her back. They've done it before several times. I mean, you got to think.
But she Black Widow. She can't be like Flame On and then Captain America. Yeah, she is Black Widow. Like
true that. But there's several characters in the MCU that are played by actors who were like other
Thanos
characters.
and what's the guy in that Cable?
Yeah, but no. I mean, in the MCU, there's people in the Thor movies that have come back as other characters. There's the girl that was or the aunt in Shang-Chi. She was in Thor, and then one of the guys that was in there was also he plays 2 different characters in the franchise. So yeah, there's a couple of them. I gotta pull them out. I don't have all the details in front of me, but there's
shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Carl Urban playing Caesar and Cupid. That's some Xena shit.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of thing. It's that kind of situation where you see these characters are played by somebody or played by the same actor that played a different character.
But usually it's not a character who played a major role.
Yeah,
usually you can write it off.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's what they're doing. That's what I think they're doing. I feel like they're not going to bring Black Widow back. I feel like because we got a new Black Widow. So
if she playing a major character, she is doing CGI. Like Josh Brolin.
Exactly. Yeah.
It has to be like that.
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. So it should be interesting to see that. Across the Spider-Verse is going to be dope, I think.
That looks sweet as hell.
Yeah, it's I mean, the Into the Spider-Verse was probably hands down, not even arguably, but factually one of the best Spider-Man movies we've seen ever. And then the sequel or this possible trilogy, possibly more, is going to ramp up to be probably just going to continue that reign. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play that out, and to see how they integrate Tom Holland's Spider-Man into that, because that's something that people are believe is going to be in the works there, because I believe Spider-Man 3 is the last MCU based Spider-Man. Sony's going to continue to take on that Spider-Man, but it's going to be the last Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
They just announced last week that it's going to be 3 more Marvel produced Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
When did they announce that? I didn't see
last week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they changed their minds again
after he talked all that shit.
Yeah. So that should be interesting then. So, but I guess wait, so you're saying it's going to be Marvel produced?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So if it's Marvel produced, okay. Okay, so they changed their minds again.
Yep.
Because they weren't supposed to do a 3. Then they changed their mind and did the 3. Mm-hmm. And they said it was going to be possibly a 4. Then they came back and said, no, there won't be a 4. Mm-hmm. And Marvel is going to be at Sony. Mm-hmm. And then they said, there's not only going to just be a 4, we're going to do a whole series outside of MCU but then they started to end.
That would be a mistake.
I thought so too. Like you don't do that, Sony. Like
because y'all don't make good spot. Y'all don't make
y'all haven't made a good Spider-Man movie.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Mans were just pointless and a waste of our time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't ever do that
again
against us.
Since Toby's part 2.
Yeah, since part 2, because part 3, Sony cannot make a part 3 to say they life.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
Of anything.
Because X-Men part 3 was just like, oh, we ran out of money.
Total trash.
And don't nobody want to do this anymore.
Well, yeah. So, and then the last thing I do want to see that I saw, I think I had saw the preview already before, but was the Matrix 4, which is
I cannot wait for the Matrix.
When does that drop? Is it next week?
21st on HBO Max.
I know that's
theaters.
Exactly. I'm like, thank you, HBO Max. I love it.
Thank you so
absolutely,
much.
Absolutely love that. So yeah, there's something else on HBO Max right now that I'm supposed to be watching. What was it?
Is it Dune? Did you watch that yet?
I saw Dune already, which I actually liked. I did like Dune. It wasn't amazing. It was great. I thought it was great.
Skarsgård was freaking me out, man.
Oh yeah,
he was freaking me out, man. All that floating fat, like
exactly. Yeah.
That was freaking. He was his character. he know how to play a bad guy. He taught his sons how to do it well too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was freaky.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue was the fact that Zendaya was only a spoiler alert. Zendaya was not in it for as long as I would have liked.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm assuming they're saving her up for the second part. So, but I thought it was a very great adaptation compared to the original Dune. The original Dune, they tried to do too much all in one movie, and it just made it just overrun. I was so lost watching it as a kid. But this new one was definitely very cool, very well played out. There was a few parts where it was hard to kind of follow, but I felt like it fully came together by the last part. It was like it really did come together, and I really got a sense of where they were going and what they were doing, and it all made sense at the end. So I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it.
I just, I feel like that movie was made for people who either saw it already or read the books, because they literally just thrust you the Subasus and the Doobadoos and the Poopapoos and the Mimimis and the DDDs all live on this planet, and they use this to do this and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like pow, now you're here with the Toopapoos.
Well, no, so that's the thing is that if you watch the original literally dropped you into all of that all in one movie, including the stuff we didn't get to see because they decided to split this up like they should have done the very first time. But it's a lot of backstory because they're world building from a standpoint of a Star Wars style world building. There's a lot to that world. So that was actually a little bit that they gave us when you find out how much it really is going on in that whole universe. Smooth says Zendaya's on-screen time was perfect. Not too long.
Don't hate on Zendaya.
A lot of people are not huge Zendaya fans.
I don't know why.
I mean, they kind of hyped her up and everything in this movie, which I was definitely like shocked that it was so.
But it's their fault. It's not it's not her fault. It's their fault. I was like, y'all making her go to all these movie premieres and shit. She only in the movie for 5 damn minutes.
Exactly. She was literally 7. I think it was literally somebody counted and said it was 7 minutes.
Y'all sold this
7 minutes of screen time, and half of it was a repeat. They kept repeating the same
dream sequences. Y'all literally told everybody she's gonna be in this movie for real, and she wasn't even in the movie for real.
Yeah, it was a cameo. It was an extended cameo.
Yeah, that she got paid a lot of money for, because she didn't get paid to be in the movie. She said, "Okay, so I was in the movie for 7 minutes. Y'all gonna pay me for this promo."
Exactly, because that's how they sold it. Like it was a Zendaya movie.
Like it was a Charlamagne and Zendaya film.
Right, exactly. I feel like they did lose. What's the word I want to use? They did
the biggest characters in the story. They lost the biggest characters in the story. I mean, the biggest actors.
Yeah, that's what I say. They had a missed opportunity in promoting Jason Momoa as being a part of this movie, because I swear I did not know Jason Momoa was that big in the movie.
I mean, he was he?
He was in there for like 14 minutes. Way longer than Zendaya. He had way more speaking lines than Zendaya. Zendaya had 3. She had 3 speaking lines in that movie.
I mean, but Josh Brolin, I said you is not about to put
Josh Brolin. I think Josh Brolin was promoted in the movie, not as much as he should have been as well.
But he wasn't in the movie long enough.
Yeah, no.
I
think he was in for 8. I think he was in for 8.
It's like that whole time, I'm like, my girl from Dr. Sleep and I can't think of her, Rebecca or something from Greatest Showman and Dr. Sleep, she gonna die. She gonna die. She gonna die like every scene. I was like, Mom about to die. Mom about to die. I said, oh, so everybody else died. Okay.
Everybody else died, literally everybody else died.
Oh, okay.
No, it's crazy.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mama and son on a journey.
On a journey, right.
Because I kept looking at the clock. Like, damn. I kept looking at the clock like, damn, where's Zendaya?
I know, yeah, exactly. I had given up. After I noticed that she was just in these dream sequences, I was like, yeah, she's not in this movie for real.
I mean, because what am I here for after Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, and Jason Momoa died? My girl from Greatest Showman is but she not the main character. So what am I here for? Where is Zendaya?
She wasn't even developed properly. That was the crazy thing to me. She wasn't even developed properly. I was just like,
yeah, because she had a lot going on, and they really didn't.
They dropped the ball on her a lot. Yeah,
they didn't explain everything that was going on because she was playing both sides, and they really did not express. And they weren't married, and that blew me. Her and Oscar Isaac's characters, they were not married. That was his boo. They were not in. They literally. He said, "I should have married you." I said, "Excuse me."
I missed that. They weren't married. Oh shit.
No.
Wow. Okay.
They were not married.
Wow. Or probably glazed over it. That's crazy.
He literally looked at that when they had the falling out. When he was like, "What are you trying to do to my son? Why do all these people think he a shaman or some crap?"
Right.
And then she was like, "Well, look, man, you know." And they had their little moment. He hugged her, embraced her. And he was like, "I should have married you." And I was like, "What?"
Oh, yeah, I missed that line. Yeah, totally.
And that's why they put so much on the son, because the son was going to be the next person because she ain't had no power anyway. She wasn't even married to him. That blew me. That blew my mind. That blew my mind.
Yeah, must be some New World stuff going on over there. Something. But yeah. So yeah, next week we'll be back. We'll be talking more about Hawkeye. We might have some more previews to talk about. What's next week? Next week is, I think we're a few days away from Spider-Man Far From Home coming out.
Yep, the 16th.
Yeah, it will be literally the day before the pre-premiere drops, which usually is on that Thursday. The premiere date is the 17th. Which I'll be out of town, so I gotta try my best to see it. I do not want it spoiled.
Man, my best friend was talking about she wanted to go see it on Christmas. I said, "Girl,
by the end it's too late."
People didn't care about Shang-Chi. People didn't care about the Eternals. People didn't care about Venom. They're not trying to spoil that. They want to, just like they wanted to spoil this 4th episode of Hawkeye for people. Mm-hmm. They want to spoil this movie for people. If you don't see it the first weekend,
it's over for you. Yeah. You must not be serious about this MCU game. They've been trying to spoil it this whole time already. So, you know.
And it's easy to avoid spoilers for something like Eternals or Venom. It's hard to avoid. I'm so tired of seeing Tom Holland on my damn timeline.
Every day, every hour, on the hour, something popping up on the screen talking about some other exclusive that they know about the movie. I'm like, I don't need to know. I can watch the movie when it comes out.
Like Jesus. Now you got Jamie Foxx and them talking about the movie. Now you got this person talking about the movie. Now you got that person. We don't need y'all to talk about at this point. If I'm not walking into the damn movie and I'm in the damn movie, my expectations aren't met, and it's all y'all fault. If I'm not smelling New York City streets and seeing webs above my head and feeling the air of Spider-Man zooming past my head and feeling the water and the fire and the explosions, the movie sucks. Right, it's all y'all fault.
It's all their fault, for sure. For sure. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all come back and see us next Wednesday, 9 p.m. I'm going to try to make sure it's exactly at 9 p.m. next time. And I'll definitely try my best to make sure I'm here as well. Like I did, I made it today. 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. I'm gonna get it together. I promise I'm gonna get it together. Let them know where to find you at, Chevy.
You can find me at Chevy the Superstar on Twitch tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We will be discussing the holiday film Black Christmas, which started the generation of the slasher horror film.
All right.
And it's also a Christmas movie. I mean, however you want to put it.
No doubt. No doubt. It's your boy Willie Stylez in the building. Get at me at Willie Stylez on IG and Twitter, Willie.Stylez on Snapchat and TikTok. Catch me over on gamingwithstyles.com for all the games I'm playing. I should have did one today. It probably would have had me on time because I was actually playing the game No Man's Sky. I'm trying to do one of their expeditions. But yeah, it was definitely very intense. And then stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks I'm listening to, williestyles.info for all my links. Appreciate you, Smooth, for being in the comments. Appreciate everybody else that commented as well and watch the show. We will see y'all in a week. So be back here at 9 p.m. and we will catch y'all later.